I've seen this over and over. When the markets are high, people don't invest because they believe it's expensive and they believe it's gonna drop. And when the market eventually drops, people don't invest because they think it's scary and it will drop even further and that the market won't reverse. You win and lose based on your strategy. You win and lose based on your plan. It's not about what stock you're buying, it's about what rules have you placed in order for you to buy it. This won't be the last breakdown that will ever happen in the PSEI, in the global markets. You would see other movements downwards. If there's no shift in terms of its valuations, there's no shift in terms of its growth, that you believe based on your rules, based on your parameters, it's still worth buying, or your rules are, as long as the dividends are still there, you think it will be consistent, then maybe it's still worth holding for you. Please remember, yung nagbabago, what drops on a daily basis is not the value of the company, it's not the earnings of the company, but what changes and what shifts and what drops on a daily basis is basically the stock price. So meaning, if you see the stock drop, there must be a reason why investors are selling. Hey guys, so I'm off to another grocery run, off to buy another set of supplies, because as you all know, when the lockdown started to lift a bit, we needed a bit of supplies. But what I noticed today was basically the market dropped massively in the broad level, and you saw a lot of stocks started to break down from their support level. So please do note this, over the past few weeks, I've placed it in a lot of the videos that a lot of the stocks that we've watched after its large bounce up started to consolidate and they started to move sideways. So now though, there was a large, number one, selling pressure, and that selling pressure intraday was so strong, making it close lower, but above and beyond making it close lower, it was also strong enough to make it drop below the support level. Hence, there's a breakdown. Now that being said, I want to share this. What if you are a long-term investor at a time when the market is still breaking down? And that's what we're going to talk about. So if you are someone who is watching the market from a longer term perspective and you are an investor, this video is for you. Yesterday I posted a video talking about the breakdown of stocks from a technical analysis level and what are you supposed to do from a trading perspective, and I want to share this video for those who are long-term investors. And please do note this, this can be a template also for you. You can rewatch this video for other instances where the markets would go down over the next few months or even in the next few years, because please remember, markets move in cycles, that if it broke down before, it will break down again. This won't be the last breakdown that will ever happen in the PSEI, in the global markets. You would see other movements downward. So again, you can use this as a template, as a reference on what are you supposed to do when things like this happen. That being said, also, I just want to further reiterate that as the market over the past month has moved sideways, the market over the past month started to consolidate. Meaning, if the support did not hold while it was consolidating in the lows, it would place downward pressure further. So again, what we saw today and what we're seeing during breakdowns are a confirmation of what the general underlying trend is, which is more sellers are still dominating. And again, if you try to put everything into context, more sellers, and those sellers also, you can attribute it that up until now, no, in the Philippines, it's still foreign selling dominates the market. So when foreigners sell, it's enough to bring markets lower, and that has been the prevailing theme. So breakdown, foreigners have been selling, underlying trend is still down, pushing down. There's no compelling reason for buyers to buy higher. And to further add a layer of fundamentals into it, there's still an expectation that the economy won't do well. There's still an expectation that the second quarter, the third quarter GDP won't be as rosy as what everyone else thinks it is. The second and third quarter also won't be as good. So that being said, again, the stock market is a forward-looking market. After it dropped, it went up and it started to bounce and it started to consolidate with nothing exciting enough for people to buy higher. When it dries up, those that are trying to buy dries up, people would just want to get out and sell at a much lower price, and that's what we saw today. Now, if you're a long-term investor, what should you basically do? It should always, please remember this, it should always go back to what your general plan is. Always revert to what your trading plan is. Always revert to what your strategy is. Because, and I suggest, no, as much as possible, try to make the trading plan, try to make that strategy something that's written, not something that's just in here. Because on times like this, that there's volatility, on times like this where you see large sell downs, on times like this where you see the market start to drop, if it's not written down, it's easier to be subjected to emotion. But if it's written down, like you have a set of rules that this are the only reasons why I will sell the stock, and these are the only reasons why I will buy it, and these are my compelling reasons on why I will hold it. You need to revert to that. And that's why I would always say this, even in the books, in the stock smart sessions, or even in the videos that I've been making. Place a larger preference on your plan first. It's not about what stock you're buying, it's about what rules have you placed in order for you to buy it. So it may sound na, bakit yan laging sinasabi mo? Kasi it's important eh. It's important for you to know that the largest and most important thing you need to place a preference on is what your rules are, is what your strategies are. It doesn't mean you won't make mistakes. It doesn't mean you won't lose money. It doesn't mean that that things like this won't happen, that markets will drop, but it means that you die or you win and lose based on your strategy. You win and lose based on your plan. You can tweak your plan, you can change your plan, but you can make some parameter changes, but at the end of the day, you follow that. So first thing, if you're a long-term investor, revisit what your plan is. Second is, as you start revisiting that plan, nakasulat naman dun eh. If the stock drops, and these are your rules. For example, your rules are, if there's no shift in terms of its valuations, there's no shift in terms of its growth, that you believe based on your rules, based on your parameters, it's still worth buying, or your rules are, as long as the dividends are still there, you think it will be consistent, then maybe it's still worth holding for you. Please remember, yung nagbabago, what drops on a daily basis is not the value of the company, it's not the earnings of the company, but what changes and what shifts and what drops on a daily basis is basically the stock price. So meaning, if you see the stock drop, there must be a reason why investors are selling. It could probably be fundamental, it could also probably be sentiment based, or it could be a lot of the funds are liquidating because they need to either rebalance, or a lot of their investors are taking out their money. So whatever the underlying reason is, it does not always equate that when the price is down, the company is also down as well. But again, since it's a forward-looking market, people are anticipating that, hey, maybe it might not be as rosy yet. So there. So things that you can do. If the fundamentals are changing and your rules to hold it are no longer there, there's nothing significant enough for you to hold it, then you better sell. Even please remember this, even if it's at a loss, or even if it's you taking a smaller amount of gain, even if it's break even, or the temptation na, for example, and I'm sharing this because this happens to everyone, na kunyari up ka 100%, tapos up na lang siya 70%, or up na lang siya 50%, or up ka 40%, tapos naging 15 na lang. The mental note that, sayang, I could have sold at 40%, sayang, I could have sold at 100%, why not wait for it na lang? But please remember, you are not selling it based on the gain. That's why, for those who would normally watch the videos, I would normally say, do not sell based on percentages. Always sell based on either fundamentals or technicals. And I assume, since this video is for long-term investors, part of your narrative for selecting, picking, timing is basically the fundamentals of the company. So if the fundamentals have changed, either your lead parameter or dividends, earnings, EPS, growth, valuations, you think the macroeconomy is shifting already and it's changing, and this company won't do very, very well. And the thing about that is, a lot of the things that we've been doing, anticipating, analyzing, when the economy was better last year compared to where we are now, we are not in a normal economy. This is something that people have not projected. This is something that people have not anticipated that could possibly happen. But the fact that we're here already you must place further analysis also. And I would suggest, no, it would entail your timeline. Meaning, if your timeline is long, another thing that you must consider is this: are you the type of investor that you are willing to slug it out, knowing already that they won't probably have good earnings this year or next year, but by 2022, 2023, 2024, 2025, you buying it at a cheap price today will compensate for you waiting? Or are you a person that you don't want uncertainty, you don't want to wait, that because you think they're bad today and they will be bad next year, your cash might be better off as a liquid cash position, and then you buy it back again once all of this uncertainty is out? Or another option that you can do is basically this: when you have cash, when you sell it, you can find another stock that you think will do well in this sort of economy that we have. So those are some options for you, no, when the company that you are looking at may not be as good fundamentally speaking. But that being said, what if the stock that you're watching is down, it's breaking down, but the fundamentals are intact? It's good. It's still something like what I've been mentioning in some of the videos. They're part of the new normal. They're part of a list of companies that are earning based on what's happening in the economy. They're part of the stay-at-home stocks. They're part of the basic essentials. So basically this, the next question you need to ask yourself, at what price are you buying, or may bala ka ba? Because if you have cash, then it becomes an opportunity for you to position further. So again, that's why you notice it whenever we analyze stocks. It's never, this is what you should do, this is where you should buy, because we have to understand that if, for example, this video hits, I don't know, 10,000 views, 20,000 views, 30,000 views, that's 20,000, 30,000 different people with different analogies, different risk profiles, different techniques, different timelines. And the best thing that you can do is make a timeline that fits you, make a trade that fits your parameters. What will work for your friend won't work for you. What will work for your brother or sister won't also work for you. What will work for your office mate doesn't mean will work for you. And what works for you may not work for the broad majority of people. But here's the thing, there's no such thing as a perfect strategy, but there's a perfect strategy that will fit you, and that's what you need to double down on. But here's the thing, that takes time, that takes practice, that takes effort, that takes learning. People always think that whenever you do that's why people like to just follow what your brother's doing, follow what your sister's doing, because if it worked for him, kikita na rin ako, but it doesn't work that way. And people want it shortcut. You don't do it get rich quick. You don't do it shortcut. You have to roll up your sleeve and you have to do the work, because at the end of the day, I've been saying this all the time, it's your money, it's your responsibility, and no one will take care of your money more than you. That's why you need to study. Now again, back to what I was saying, while it's dropping, what should you do? What should be your technique? While you see the stock dropping, you have cash, next thing you need to ask yourself, what are my rules for buying when it goes down? So either you buy when it hits a level of support, you buy when it hits the valuations that you want, or you just want to segment it, that you're tranching, you're buying into 2 or into 3. Or if you're a person that, okay, once it hits this, because I saw it last March, as it hit this price point, nag-bounce na siya, that's when I'm gonna come in again as it hits that price point. So when it hits, for example, 19 pesos, 20 pesos, 21 pesos, I'm gonna put everything already there, knowing also that if it drops, I'm just gonna hold, I'm not gonna do anything, and up until the fundamentals of the company still hold. So again, if you notice what I'm saying, it will always be driven by what your rules are in terms of fundamentals. It will always be driven by what your rules are in investing. It has to be something that fits you, fits your timeline, fits your risk, fits the money that you have as well. So please do note, the way you would segment also your cash, the way you would segment your capital will be highly dependent on how you distribute your money. Magkano ba yung pumapasok? Kasi another thing you need to consider is, iba yung style ng tao na may cash pa rin na pumapasok, na may bala siya every month to be able to add to the market, versus someone that this is all the cash that I have left. It's extra, it's something that I won't touch, it's something that I won't need, it's something that I won't use, but this is it already. So you have to look at it from that way. You have to custom fit it from what works for you. Then you also have to understand how you would distribute your portfolio. For those who read Stress-Free Investing, it's all about portfolio management, that for this type of money that you have, how many stocks should you actually buy? For this type of stocks or this type of cash you have, how do you segment it? Do I put everything in just one stock, or do I have to split my money into these different stocks as well? So there, those are just some things that I would like to suggest to all of you while the market is breaking down, while we are still in an area where there's uncertainty. But please remember this, and I've been saying this over and over, we shall recover, and at the end of the day, this will pass. And as this starts to pass, you will be rewarded based on the convictions that you have. And if your conviction also is staying away from the market right now, that's fine as well, as long as you also have some rules later on that when everything gets better and gets hit based on your parameters to come back in, you have to come back in. Because sayang eh, I've seen this over and over. When the markets are high, people don't invest because they believe it's expensive and they believe it's gonna drop. And when the market eventually drops, people don't invest because they think it's scary and it will drop even further and that the market won't reverse. And I think the problem of majority of Filipinos in general is it's not really the timing of where they come in. It's more that people are not investing as much and they're not putting a lot of volume in it. The reason why I'm saying that is we always think that you put 20,000 pesos, you believe someday hopefully it becomes 100,000, or 100,000 pesos becomes 10 million pesos. But for you to reach from 100 to 10 million pesos, it would be better if you have larger amounts of volume. It's always about volume. The stock market, and I've been saying this in so many videos, it's not an adder. It's not really there to add to you, but it's there to multiply what's already there. I had a video with Fitz Villaferre talk about Forex. He said that between 10 million and 1 million pesos, he would like 1 million pesos then leverage at 10 times. Personally, my opinion, I'm the one who wants a 10 million and then I'll just use 1:1 without leverage. But I don't need to have a larger amount of gain to get the amount that I would actually want, because that's something that it's easier to get smaller gains done on a repetitive level with a larger amount of volume. So there, please do note that we don't know if this is the end of the breakdown. We don't know if the markets will drop even further. We don't know if this is the end of it all. But what we do know and what we can control is the amount of capital that you deploy per trade, or if you're supposed to deploy anything at all. Because if you don't need to deploy anything and your strategy is telling you not to put anything, then that's very, very strong as well. If your strategy is telling you to stay in cash at this moment in time, stay in cash. If your strategy is telling you to come in based on the fundamentals, based on the dividends, if you're after dividends, based on the projection that you believe that they're still gonna do okay, then you invest. Regardless of where what the fear is, regardless of what the general market is saying, because at the end of the day, you make money in the markets by following your own strategy, by following your own convictions, because those are things that you can repeat over and over. Those are skills that you can use to be able to build a strong foundation on trading and investing. So there. By the way, as we end this video, I did introduce myself. No, my name is Marvin Germ. I'm a stock market trader and investor. I make daily videos like this with one goal in mind lang. I just want to help you. I just want to give you as much content as possible for you to be able to use the stock market to help you reach your goals of financial freedom. And I really believe that the stock market is still a great asset if it's done properly, done correctly, and tweaked towards what your financial goals are. So if you're new to this, appreciate it if you can subscribe and smash the bell so you get updated every time I come up with new content. And if you've been coming back to this channel, you don't all know the drill, guys. Please hit the like button for the YouTube algorithm to show this to more and more people, because at the end of the day, we just want YouTube also to be flooded with financial information, helping people, financial information that builds people's skill so that they can reach their goals of financial freedom. And if you'd like to know more about all of all of the content that I have beyond the videos. I also have books. They're available via Shopee. The link is in the description. Then I have 3 online courses, 2 with Shansi, link is in the description, along with another Tagalog course with Chinkitan. It's also in the description below. So for those who want to learn the basics of the market, the basics of technical analysis, the basics of business, the basics of fundamentals, they're spread across those online courses and they're spread across those books. And then I'm excited to say that because things are opening up also, most likely in the next few weeks also, we're gonna have Stock Smarts Manila again. Then as all of the other cities start to open up, we're gonna have our live sessions of Stock Smarts classroom setting again, with all of whatever protocols that they have employed in this new normal. So there. Oh, by the way, for those who have been asking for a Patreon account, I already have one. The link is below. Patreon basically allows those who want to support the channel to be able to support and add their supply and to be able to be a patron. So there, I guess that's it for now. Marvin Germa, I have to do my groceries again. Alam mo naman, loving husband, kailangan masaya yung asawa ko. So it's me who's doing most of the groceries, and again, all of the masks are here. Everything that I need to do when I go out is ready with me as well. So there. I want to know also, can you comment, this is a test now if you're staying up until the end. Can you share what's the most memorable thing for you throughout this lockdown, regardless of where you are in the world? What were the things that you learned and you discovered that are different now in the way that you would perceive things? I just want to know. I don't know if people will reply to this, no, but I just want to know. I just want to hear your ideas so that at least it's a two-way communication as well. So that's it for now. This is Marvin Germo. I hope this video helps you trade well, trade strong, trade smart.